Good afternoon, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We are there. I tell you, it's cold here today in Ottawa. In fact, I think I saw some people outside drinking green slushies. Not a day for green beer, that's for sure. Probably a good day to stay inside. We're talking a wind chill of about minus 21. Sure doesn't feel like spring's around the corner today, that's for sure. But nonetheless, we are here. We do have a green day. We do have a green day, which is fantastic. Actually, statistically, St. Patrick's Day has been green more than red when we look back in history. So actually, let me pull this up here. I got some data here. Let's see here. So yeah, according to, and this is according to Grok, the S&P 500 has been green on St. Patrick's Day 21 of 22 of the last 28 to 29 years. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. So hopefully Grok isn't inventing that, but apparently green is a good day for the market, and St. Patrick's Day is a good day for green. So all of that fun stuff. Oh boy. All right. Now, despite the fact that we do have a green day on the market, let's jump into the market right away. All of the work was done this morning. In fact, a lot of it was done overnight. You can see we gapped up pretty big here. In fact, if you look at where we're at now compared to where we gapped to, we are actually down, if you look at it that way. But obviously the gap counts. So we are in a green day, but the second half of the day has not been it's not been moving the way I'd like to see it move, for sure. So, nonetheless, let's hope we can stop this slide. Let's hope this slide doesn't move into tomorrow, because of course tomorrow is our rate cut day. So, or sorry, rate decision day. There's not going to be a cut. There's not going to be a cut, guys. Both sides of the border, I think we're going to see double pause. So I think it's going to be a double P day. And well, it's not looking good on this month for the TSX here. This blue line up here, way up here at the top, that's where we entered the month. So if we want a green month, we need to get above that blue line. It's not happening. I called it before the middle of the month, and if we can get above that line, I said I will wear a green Santa hat for the first live stream of April. I don't think I'm going to have to. Don't think I'm gonna have to. I'm not even worried. I'll still do it, of course. I'll still do it. If it happens, I'll do it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. So green, yeah. Interesting thing with the market today, and I want to point something out here. Let's head down. I'm heading down to oil for a second. So we're looking at Brent, we're looking at WTI, both oil and, well, they're both oils, Brent and WTI, they're both up. Now, I was kind of speculating yesterday, if we got above 101 on Brent, that might be enough to push the market down, but it hasn't. It hasn't. And I think part of it is, even though we still have a situation where, well, a situation where Donald Trump is trying to get other nations to bring in some ships to see if we can get some kind of stability in the Strait of Hormuz, sorry. I think that's kind of helping to counteract it as well. Plus, the International Energy Agency, so the IEA, they did release, they got a lot of countries to release a whole bunch of oil. So that does seem to be helping things a little bit for sure. All right, now, let's get back here. So this is our TSX. Going south of the border, we've got the S&P 500. We are looking at pretty much the same thing. I mean, we're down 0.28. You'll see as well, we got a nice gap up. Now, the S&P 500, though, even though we had a nice gap up, they kind of had, actually, this is the gap right here. I'm looking at this gap. I'm like, what's going on here? No, that's yesterday. It's also slid back down. So we'll have to see how this day is going to turn out. It's going to be really, really interesting, I think. I'm hoping we can stay in the green. We got, well, there's 15 minutes left. Sorry, there's more than 15. There's like 25 minutes left. We used to actually start the show 15 minutes before the bell, so that's kind of still ingrained in my head. Ingrained in my head. The NASDAQ, also in a similar boat, gapped up, has been coming down. Now, the NASDAQ's actually been holding pretty good, though. They are up 0.50%. So, yeah, the NASDAQ is holding pretty good, and I think a lot of that is tech. Tech's actually not having too bad of a day. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial, also up 0.16. Same story. Almost looks like the same picture, doesn't it? It looks like the same picture. But yeah, similar story. And those little caps, the Russell. Now the Russell, yeah, they had a pretty big pump to start the day, but they have retreated a bit, but they're still up 0.72. So it's not too shabby. Gold. Gold is down a little bit. It's kind of flat, but it is down about 0.14. Silver also down. Silver down quite a bit, 2.09%. We're looking at a little bit of a retracement on copper. Platinum, though. Gosh, platinum just keeps on trucking. Look at that, 1.20. And we already took a quick look at oil. Looking at crypto, we got a little bit of a pullback. But now, guys, yesterday, and here, let's take a look at this. Here's Bitcoin. Yesterday, I mean, Bitcoin really pumped yesterday. So we got a pretty big pump. In fact, we got up above, we got above 7,500. We got to 7,600. Some profit taking, obviously. And it makes sense because once you pass 75, that's kind of a psychological level. So people looking at it, oh, it's above 75, I better take some profits. We've seen that. It did, of course, fall back down, and it is now back in the process of recovering. So even though the regular markets, afternoon, they've been on the way down, we've seen Bitcoin heading on the way up. All right, guys. Now, it's time to hit our heat maps, and this is Canada. The banks are actually pretty well holding up today. TD is almost up 1%. Royal Bank up about 0.5%. Same as BMO and Scotiabank in that same boat. Oh, I noticed I got a little ad down here blocking the bottom. CIBC also in that boat. So yeah, looking pretty good. Our non-energy minerals. So this is your gold, and yeah, it's suffering a little bit. Barrick Gold is down. Wheat and precious metals down 1.16. Cameco, though, Cameco is actually up a little bit, almost up 1%. So that's not too shabby. Oil, of course, looking good. CNQ up, well, 0.61. Imperial Oil up, Cenovus. Now, part of that is that discount between WTI and Western Canadian Select. It actually keeps shrinking. So that's not too shabby. The railroads, though, look at this. CNR down 3.28 today. CP down 1.29. All right. Well, here's one small little thing. Constellation Software is up today, 0.79. And Nutrien bouncing back after yesterday. Yesterday, they were down quite a bit. Okay, going south of the border, as I mentioned before, technology not doing too bad. You can see Google up 1.62. NVIDIA is down at this point right now, 0.38, but not bad. Apple is up a wee bit, and we are getting close to Apple's 50th anniversary. That's going to be on April 1st, and there's rumors they're going to be introducing some products on that event that they have planned for that day. Microsoft down a wee bit. Meta down 0.8, and Tesla not doing too bad, up 0.77. So I like that. And finally, crypto. It is green on the long haul. This uses a different time zone, so it's using slightly different time calculations than our normal charts. But right now on the normal charts, Bitcoin is in the red. So we're going to use red. So we'll pick for our crap coin of the day, let's head into a green coin here and let's take a look. So let's see what we got. Let's grab this one down here. All right, whoops, no, I didn't want to do that. There we go. I wanted to do that. Let's move my head over. We got gamey. Ooh, I tell you, something smells gamey, that's for sure. This one is worth 0.1 of a penny. So, well, closer to 0.11 if we round it up. But nonetheless, it is, I don't know. It's kind of, it's having a good day, but I do not know what this one does. I always want you guys to be cautious of these. I'm not a big fan of penny stocks. And actually, funny side story, I had a conversation about penny stocks earlier today that was kind of interesting. Maybe we'll get into that a little later. But with this one here, I like penny stocks better than I like the crap coins. I call them crap coins because it's like going to the casino. You throw in your dice, and oh boy, you're not coming up a winner. You're not coming up a winner. You got to be careful with these. If you are interested in something like gaming, read the white paper. Maybe check out the developers, also people who have invested in it on their social medias. Make sure it's the right fit for you. It probably isn't. It's probably going to stink. But nonetheless, there is money to be made in crypto. Not so much through gaming, but through your big coins. Stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your XRP, your Solana, your Cardano, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. All right, let's get us back to the TSX. Here we are. Oh boy, we're only up 0.12. I'm not changing. No, even if we go into the red, guys, I'm not changing the sign today. Even if we were deep in the red, the sign's staying green today because it is St. Patrick's Day and we need to celebrate that. All right, now, very quickly, right away, out of the gate, we got Wealthsimple coming in with a gifted Mountain Finance membership, and that's pretty awesome. So thank you, Wealthsimple. That is a goat. So that is our that is our evil Monopoly goat. So we got our Monopoly goat in the building, Goat Squad on the go. We are playing for Thursday, by the way. We do that on Tuesday. We do have a show already tomorrow, but we're now 1 of 4 towards the Thursday show. All right. With that being said, I do want to point one other thing out. There is a office hours tonight on Tuesday nights. We have office hours for the channel members. This time I remember just turn it to channel members, but I will be here tonight at 7 p.m. so we can go through whatever you guys want to go through. All right, now we also, I have to, let's pull myself, let's pull ourselves back in. We also have a super chat as well that came in. Just gonna scroll down, and John is in with a super chat. So let's see. All right, before we read the super chat, let's just quickly get the goats out of the way. And here is our Bay Street goat. This puts us halfway to a Thursday show. Thank you very much, John. All right, now let's get to the super chat. So guys, this is one of those ways to jump the line, just to make sure that your question gets seen, gets heard, gets answered, all of that fun stuff. All right, where are we at? Here we are. So do you think Carney is trying to politicize current events? Seem like he spends all his time in Europe. MOUs are great, but are not investment guarantees. All right, great comment, great comment. All right, first of all, Carney is learning to be a politician. So, yeah, I will say this. In all fairness, I think all politicians take advantage of, whatever the current event is to some degree. So, yes, Carney is doing his, we'll call it a world tour. He's been all over the place. He's been in India. He's been in Japan. He's been in China. So yeah, he is absolutely moving around trying to get deals in regards to diversifying Canadian trade. All right, MOUs. So yeah, those are memorandums of understanding. Fantastic. All right, that's a first step. But here's the thing. We do need actual investments. MOUs can only take you so far. So we actually do need to see some deals. We need to see some stuff happening. I would also very much like to get an update on, all of these companies being fast-tracked back here in Canada. I think 100% we need a pipeline. If we had a pipeline, another pipeline, like a west-east pipeline right now, that would have been huge for Canada. I mean, because, with the world clamoring for oil and we've got lots of it, that would have certainly been nice. So I want to see and I always say this. I always say this about politicians is that it's easy to talk the talk. It's easy to talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk. Carney has been very good at talking the talk. I haven't seen the walking of the walk yet. Um, I'd like to see it soon. I mean, I tend to give people, I give people a new government time to sort of show that they're going to do what they're saying. So, but here's one thing I was thinking the other day, and this is kind of a thought, is that if Carney is parading himself around the world, going on and on about these deals, I mean, he was over there he was in Norway the other day talking to them about oil. Um, we have to be able to produce all of these, all of the minerals, all of the oil that he's been toting. So I'm hoping he's kind of setting himself up in a point that when he gets back, he's got to follow through. And I'll tell you, the conservatives are not going to, they're not going to go easy on him. They certainly are not going to go easy, and they shouldn't. That's the role of the opposition. The opposition is to be there, to be needling the government, to say, come on, this is what you promised. Let's make it happen. So I'm hoping that's what we see for sure. All right. Hopefully that's answered your question, John. Let's get right back to the beginning. Holy banana bread. We got Stan in the house with a good afternoon all, followed by Cindy saying hello. All right. Abby says good afternoon all. And we got, I'm going to say those are shamrocks, but they kind of look like cards. That's fine though. All right. Yeah, the Financial Express. We're halfway there, guys. Scott says, hang on to your Lucky Charms. I like the Lucky Charms. We got Mary in the house with a hello all. And of course, Mary is the captain of our like button. So if you have not yet hit that like button, let's do it. Let's get it going nice and early. I will refresh the test box and see where we're at. Let's just get them in. You know what, guys? I heard a rumor. Every time you hit the like button, a leprechaun gets its rainbow. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know if there's any truth to it. Take it with a grain of salt, but maybe. So, oh my gosh, we're only at 20. Guys, we're at 20. Just to start off, let's double that really quickly. Let's get that to 40. While you guys are hitting the like button, I'm going to have some coffee, but I'm going to mute it because you guys don't need to hear me swallowing coffee. All right. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. All right. It was like, yeah, and you know what? Yesterday somebody mentioned, they're like, Candace, can you please mute? Can you please mute when you're drinking? I can't. You know what? It's a funny thing. I've only just recently started going with the mic, the lapel mic. And normally I used to have a mic sitting over here. And, obviously if you're further away from it, it's not a big deal. But, my mouth is not that far from the mic. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I should have thought of that. So yeah, absolutely. All right. Samantha is in the house with a happy St. Patty's Day. And Wah Hipple, thank you again, Wah Hipple, for that gifted sub. Doorpat says, hi, everyone. And Wah Hipple, QQQ. Hey, I got a notification that 4N Mining sending out a mailer. Apparently, I can vote on the up-and-coming merger. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, guys, one of the things is, as shareholders, you have that ability to vote on things that involve the companies you're holding. And, a lot of us don't do it. Like, let me ask right here in the chat, have any of you voted on any of the companies that you are a shareholder in? Have any of you actually voted? I have not. I admit. And I'm like, I kind of want to now. But nice. I think that's cool. Lance says the market needs to make up its mind. My portfolio is confused, up and down, then up and down. Welcome to this world right now. I have a feeling, and I did say this. I said actually before March happened, I said I thought it was going to be a very volatile month. I don't think I'm wrong. King of Day, off work today. Stop by to say hello. Oh, well, hello to you as well. I'm hoping you're having a good day off. Wahipple, Hit like on my way in, Mary. Perlovia extended my investment in MER.T. XDiv next couple of days near 10%. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, here we go. We're still in the there we go. MER. So Mirren Energy right here. Perfect. All right. And I'm going to pull it up here. All right. So yeah, look at this. Actually, I want to go back to the 3-year because this has me interested. I'm like, what's going on there? Okay, so they definitely slid a bit. But you know what? Oil had a pretty rough time, other than the last year. The last year has been a little bit better. But yeah, look at this. At least we're getting a little bit of movement to the upside. So it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but um, I still like them. I do like them. All right, Mary saying, yeah, Hipple. IVN 1217. Enough already. I agree. I'm in a trade. Both me and Tom, I think we're in trades in IVN. And it's like it's time to start climbing back up a little bit. All right. Ian says, how do you think Powell will do after they release the earnings report tomorrow? Oh, good question. All right, Power Corporation of Canada. Let's pull them up here. All right, so these here are, of course, all right, let's pull them up here. So this is going to be their Q4 earnings right here. So first of all, when you're looking at something like that, I'm just going to go to the 6 months. So the first thing you want to do is when you're looking at the chart, you want to realize that Q4 ended January 31st. So right about here. So basically, the earnings that they're reporting, all of this is not in it, at least in the data. The data is going to be this big climb up there. So that's a good thing. So that part is probably going to look good on these earnings. So they probably will have, they probably will beat expectations on earnings. They'll probably beat expectations on revenue. Where this part factors in is, if this fall is impacting them, that could show up in their forward guidance. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because, we got a war. The rest of the market kind of did the same similar type thing. So they may still be fine on that. But I think they'll be fine on the earnings. I think they'll be fine. And that's kind of an interesting thing. So when you look at the results, if their earnings are good, if their earnings and revenue are good, but their forward guidance kind of sucks, sometimes you can get one of those really interesting candles where it spikes up nice and high and then it comes down pretty quickly. So that's kind of one of those things with Powell. Like I honestly wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it for that reason, just because it could be an interesting one. Ian, you should bring that up. Remind me of this one tomorrow. I want to take a look at it after we have the earnings here. Now, mind you, do they come out in the morning? I don't know if they're coming out in the morning or afternoon, but either way, we'll take a look and see what we got tomorrow. All right, let's see. And yes, we are halfway to a Thursday show. We already have a show tomorrow. Tomorrow is our regular scheduled show. It's like if this were a bingo card, Wednesday's the free space. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And let's see, upstairs cooking chicken wings with my headphones, back in a bit. It wasn't muted? Really? Oh my gosh, I thought it was. So boy. All right, I will have to work. You know what? The funny thing is I clicked on it and it changed to the mute color, so that's fun. All right. No, boy. Maybe I just can't drink coffee anymore on stream. It's just like, no coffee for you. I'll figure that out. Rory, afternoon, damn you, Canoe, trying to grab some at 1669. Oh, boy. Let's see. When you're drinking coffee, you did not mute. You just turned off the... Oh. I must have hit the wrong button. All right, let's try this again. All right, I'm going to try this one more time. And Okay, that was really good. All right. I must have hit, yeah, there's right next to the mute button is the camera button. So yeah, like here's the camera button. There we go. So that's what I did. I clicked on the camera button by mistake. All right. Darn it. Okay. Niece is in the house. Hey, sorry, I am late. John says, I get the voting proxies and throw it away. I think that's what we're all doing. All right, not all of us, because I just saw the next comment. King of Day says, I vote all the time. This is, yeah, if anybody is going to do their due diligence and vote and all of this, it's going to be King of Day. Awesome. I like this. Perlovia, yes, have voted many times. All right. So maybe it's, maybe more of you are voting than I thought. I like this. I like to hear this. All right. I will do my duty and I will vote. Eric says, is 3,000 shares at 12.45 too expensive? Can I continue to reinvest the dividend? 3,000 shares. Okay. Is that too expensive? That's a pretty vague question, Eric. I don't know what the shares are in. And that obviously the context is kind of what the thing is. And also, how big is your portfolio? If your portfolio, is, well, if that's your entire portfolio, well, that's a different answer than if that's like a tiny part of your portfolio. So like, if you've got $1 million portfolio, that's probably a normal buy in your portfolio. So, I need a bit more information. I can't, because I can't answer that. It's way too vague. Rory, Bank of Canada tomorrow. Let's see if the market flinches. If it flinches, it's not going to be the Bank of Canada. It's probably going to be the U.S. Fed. Let's see. Rory says, all my orders end today except for CNQ. Martin, I do when they go through the trouble to print the voting material and pay for the shipping. Okay, fair enough. Eric says, let's see, okay, there we go. This is what I was asking. So is 3,234 shares in HHIS at average of 12.45 too high? Should I continue to reinvest dividends to get a lower average? Okay. All right, this gives me a bit more information, which is good. So HHIS, I know they, here, let me actually pull it up. Let's pull it up here while we're talking about it. Tech has suffered a little bit. HHIS has done, has suffered a little bit too. Let's just pull the last year. And you can see this is kind of that slide. When you look at it though, when it's happening, it feels a lot worse than it really is. And it isn't that bad. Like we had people like, going on about it saying, oh my God, are they going to cut their dividend? And they didn't, of course. Not to say, maybe in the future, if we go into a bear market, maybe they will. But I like this stock. If you're bullish on technology, if you have a lot of faith in the underlying, and if this is not your entire portfolio, it's not a bad thing. But once again, you sort of have to look at what your risk tolerance is for this. For some people, they might look at that and say, that's way too many. I'd rather diversify it more. I look at it like, whoops, we got 1 minute to the bell. Your risk profile better than anybody in this room knows your risk profile. And I do like this one. So if you don't feel like you have too much, and I don't know this is one piece of information that would be really good in this situation is how much is this of your portfolio? Like what is the average? Is this 50% of your portfolio? Is this 10% of your portfolio? Is this 3% of your portfolio? Because that does come into play. If this was 50% of your portfolio, I would say, yeah, you've got enough. I would look at diversifying it further into other things at that point. For me, I look at it this way, like if I wanted to go all in with HHIS, I don't think I would let it get bigger than 20% of my portfolio. I think that would be my absolute cap on HHIS. And that would be providing, 1 second, bell time! The market has closed. Holy cow. I love it. Even in the middle of an explanation, I can just go right to the bell. But so yeah, if for me, 20%, like I wouldn't want more than 20% tech, any one sector. So if I was only holding HHIS, I would not be holding any other technology. I would be trying to limit that exposure. But that's me. And some people might say, well, you know what? I'm okay with 25%. Some people might actually say I'm okay with 100%. If you had 100% HHIS, is that going to be a problem? No, but you're going to definitely be watching things. You're going to definitely have to really, when tech goes down, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to be in the red in that situation. I would never go that deep. Like I said, for me, 20% would be my maximum. All right. Let's see. Ian says, I think the earnings came out after the market closed. Oh, today? Um, because it showed the 18th when I was looking there. But here, you know what, Ian? Let's take a look. We'll have this up anyway because we can look at those earnings tomorrow. Power Corporation of Canada. Where are you? There you are. All right, let's drop it in. Let's go over. Yeah, here. Oh, now here. Why do they have the earnings on Thursday? That's kind of weird. Yeah, they're showing Thursday, but well, wait a minute. No date. Oh, you know why they're probably doing that? I bet you it's market close tomorrow that they release. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking probably market close tomorrow. Um, Perlovia, you enjoy your coffee without mute? Sounds good to me. Muted. Yeah, I'm totally okay with the muting. I just had to get used to it. So there we have. We had one failed mute. I guess we could call it a failed mutiny. No. Shane says, "Do you have any place in the food industry?" Um, do I have any place in the food industry? Well, it depends on how you're mentioning it. Okay, so the food industry has a lot of. So, for example, in the 0 to 100K challenge, one of the ETFs I hold is XST, and that is the iShares Consumer Staples. So that will have, of course, exposure to things like Loblaws and your big grocery chains. So does that classify as food industry, or are you thinking straight up agriculture? Because if you're thinking up straight up agriculture, I do have some exposure to Nutrien through some of my ETFs, but I probably don't have as much exposure as I would. Well, I don't have a super amount of exposure. All right. Paul says, good afternoon. Let's see. Shane, hello. Do you have any plans in the food industry? Oh, we already did that. We just did that question. Mike says, hi, all. All right. Ian, how hard am I going to get hammered by holding covered call ETFs like ENCL and Bank in my non-registered account in 10 years after the adjusted cost base hits zero? I know you're not a tax expert. Yeah. All right. So when you're looking, and I think what you're referring to, of course, is as ROC, so return of capital. I don't think I've never seen a situation like I've never seen somebody's adjusted cost base actually go to zero. Because it's not technically ROC is not them giving you back your money. Yes, tax-wise it does lower it a little bit, but I've yet to see anybody ever get to zero. Now, if that were to happen, and I can't rule it out. I'm just saying I've never seen it. Yeah, if you were to sell it in a case like that, that would be a lot of capital gains because that's kind of what ROC is doing, right? You're not paying taxes on it today. You're kind of banking it. So that way there, it's funny because you got bank. You're banking it for later. And yeah, that could certainly be an issue, obviously, when you sell it, unless, and this is kind of, you could always be strategic and look for like a big crash and sell it on the crash. But, if you really wanted to sell it. So when I look at things like Bank and I look at things like ENCL, I mean, for the most part, I don't see them as funds that I'm really going to sell like if those are sort of my income generators. So there is that as well. But yeah, absolutely. As your adjusted cost base, so when something does have rock, you know, the reason they call it cash efficient is because, it is basically parking that tax away, in the form of return of capital. Even though that return of capital, technically, it's not really them giving you back your own money in most cases. There are some exceptions. But for the most part, what you're really looking at is it's kind of a tax classification that the CRA uses when they don't really have any other classification for it. Now, I know somebody was mentioning, and I thought we talked about it before in chat, that as covered call ETFs, as other income instruments become more and more popular, I can see the CRA somewhere down the road reclassifying everything. I'm not saying that, it would reclassify it so that all of a sudden you get screwed, but they might even come up with other terms for it somewhere down the road. That's what I think will happen, but it's hard to say. I mean, sometimes the CRA, they tend to be 20 years behind modern technology in most cases. Paul says, I voted on the last Tesla one. That does not surprise me, Paul. You're very much a big Tesla fan for sure. All right, and we are halfway there. Yeah, Navi, drop in CNR today. I will buy under 130. And look at this. Another, I'm wondering if YouTube, it might be a YouTube thing because a couple of you guys have been duplicating comments. And I've seen this happen where you hit enter, but it doesn't go right away. So you hit enter again and it ends up going twice. I've seen YouTube do that before. But yeah, let's take a look at CNR. I mean, I love CNR. CNR is one of my favorite companies for sure. But yeah, down another 3. What was it? 3.84 today. So yeah, this super recovery it's slowly coming back down. It's slowly coming back down. I'm not liking it. Yeah, under 130, huge buy for sure. A huge buy for sure. Rory says 2 cents away. Uh-oh. I know what you're talking about. EIT. Let's see here. 1672 because you want to buy at 16. Nice. Well, maybe something will happen tonight in the war, and they'll drop down a little bit. It's hard to say. Muzzamo says, a good thing about HHIS is it's going up or down with its holding stocks. Once the market starts to recover, it will recover as well, hopefully. Yeah, and this is a key thing when you're looking at covered call ETFs. I don't care how aggressive they are, but don't look at, if the NAV is going down, well, look at the underlying assets. Are the underlying assets going down? If they are, you don't have a problem. That's normal, right? If you're, because your net asset value, think of it like a market cap. It's like it's like basically all that you're holding and how much it's worth. If all of that you're holding is dropping in value because the stocks are going down or the market's going down, of course your NAV is going to come down. Not a problem. But here's the other side of that. If you have a situation where your underlying assets are moving up and your ETF is dropping, that's another problem. Now, there's a couple little exceptions. If it's the ex-dividend day, well, okay, yeah. Of course, you're going down on the ex-dividend day, especially if you are paying out a large dividend. But overall, you want that NAV to be moving in the same direction as the assets underneath it. Otherwise, then you want to reevaluate if that's the ETF for you. Rory says CNR would be a great swing trade if it wasn't so expensive. I know. Now, there is, of course, I'm pretty sure that 9 Point, I think 9 Point actually does have a CNR ETF. But keep in mind, when you're swing trading like a single share covered call ETF, you want to keep in mind where the ex-dividend date is, because that could certainly come into play. Let's see. Brian says, back. I did hear you read Rory's comment. EIT to 17. Here we go. I like it. It's like Canoe Financial knows what I'm trying to do, and they are defying me. Yeah, maybe a little bit. All right. Neil says, what do you think of ATZ stock? Aritzia. Is Aritzia stock? I haven't looked at Aritzia probably in a few weeks. Let's see here. Aritzia. All right, let's take a gander here. All right. So yeah, they had this big climb. Now Aritzia, one of the things I like about Aritzia is they have been making a lot of headway online. That's a lot of this growth. A lot of their growth in the last year has been online growth, and not just online growth. In addition to that, they are also they've been expanding more and more into the U.S. as well. So they're starting to do pretty good. They're starting to market their product to new customers, and that's always good things when you're looking at a retail chain such as Aritzia. All right. Lisa says hello all. And Aaron says happy St. Patrick's Day. 2 bad markets were red. Well, did we actually slip into the red? I'm going to take a look. No, we're still holding. We're still holding in the green. Now, mind you, even though the market's closed, this is delayed. TradingView has the Canadian markets delayed by 15 minutes. Unless you pay them for this a monthly fee for a package, and I'm like, I'm not paying you a monthly fee for that. So right now, like I said, we got about 3 minutes, so it looks like the TSX will hold on to the green. The S&P, the U.S. markets all held on to their green, and gold's still pretty flat. I mean, it's red, but I'll call it flat. Anytime you've got a 0 between you and the decimal point, that's pretty flat. Brian says, I thought markets are up. I am up 0.64%. And Rory says 0.445 cents away from 20% C&Q selling off at 68 unless I hold. Luke says, happy Green Day. All right. Michael says, hello, Candace. Can you please elaborate on your trade on IVN, as I have some and I am down about 10%. Wondering if I should buy more. Okay. Let's head into the swing. Let's head into our swing here. All right, and here is, here's IVN. And this is what I had hoped would happen. It is not. We've got slosh. It's sloshing right along here in this channel that it's in. I probably need to expand this channel now. So I hate slosh. When it comes to trading, when you get sloshed like this, it's hard to do anything with it. Will it respect this channel? Is this channel invalidated? If this slosh continues long enough, then it will invalidate this channel. So I am still hoping to see some kind of movement. Now, in regards to my trade on them, oh boy, let's see here. I don't even know where I started the trade at. I think I'm somewhere's up in here. Actually, I think I got in somewhere's in this area. And here's the problem. It went down, it never recovered, and now it's kind of down. So I'm at a point where I'm going to look at it and say, I might do some of those step down trades that I like to do to try to bring that break-even point down. So it's kind of, it aggravates me a lot. Now, I do like this company a lot. I think it's got a lot of potential. I'm pretty sure it'll be back up at one point. But it's sure being punishing right now, and I don't like this channel that it's currently in. Let's just straighten those out a little bit. I don't like the channel that it's in right now. It's not doing very much for me. So this will be one I can't wait to get out of. Now, mind you, it's a small portion. It's just, it's weighted out. Wait this one out, and it will eventually get out of this. But I might do some step downs. And step downs is basically where I, will sell it on the way down and rebuy it a little bit lower, just to effectively lower that break-even point. So that way there I get out of it sooner than later. All right, let's see here. Aaron says my TFSA is down 1%, but some markets are up. Let's see, 0.85. A big, better late than never. Just made it home from work. Hope everyone is doing well. I think so. I think everyone's doing pretty good right now. Ian says, what do you think is worse to hold in a non-registered account? Canoe or bank? Once again, I know you are not a tax expert. I should probably talk to a tax expert when I get back to Canada. All right, fair enough. Oh boy. I would say Canoe. I would say Canoe, and part of the reason for Canoe is, both Canoe and bank, obviously there is ROC involved, but Canoe has an extra helping of ROC, and it's not even ROC. It's they do a distribution every year. They do a distribution at the end of the year. Basically, they give away well, they don't give you the money. Or wait a minute. All right, never. You know what? This is me thinking. I was thinking down for some reason, but no, that distribution actually raises your thing. So that, oh boy. It's still, yeah, no, you know what? Bank might actually be more efficient. Because, sorry, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, all right. So what happens with Canoe? So they have this thing, it's a special distribution that they do every year. So instead of giving you money, what ends up happening is they put it back into the company in such a way that your adjusted cost base will actually go up. So in that sense, if you're looking at, not looking at the dividend, if you're looking at selling later at a later date, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Whereas bank, when you're looking at those distributions, you do have some ROC in there. You are going to have a little bit of your adjusted cost base going down. So yeah, in a sense, I would say bank would probably, but I would have to, and here's the thing, I'd have to really look. I'd have to have sort of some data to play with. This is kind of me just trying to reason it out in my head. And what a fun little trip. And yes, you are right. I am not a tax expert. I understand taxes, but what can I say? All right. Brian says, okay, I have days like that too, especially when tech in the US is down. Tom, let's see. Tesla closed on its high for the day. A nice jump tomorrow and one of the 3 done. Oh, nice. All right. King a day, and we got our QQQ. What are your thoughts? Wealthsimple changed the adjusted cost base for staked crypto. Your staking rewards now increase your book cost and average price. Technically, this should help reduce taxes. That should. Yeah, you are right. So yeah, if your staking rewards are increasing your book cost, yes, that should. Well, that will, because you will, when you sell, you would have a lower capital gain in there. So technically, yeah, I don't see, unless, oh boy. All right, here's the question I would have though. And this is kind of the one question I would have with this scenario. Even though when they add it in, they're doing that, are they still also reporting it as income? Because technically staking, staking rewards is considered income when the CRA looks at it. So, you might be getting, a small benefit from them, reinvesting it that way into your account. But at the same time, they may also still be, the straight up dollar value might be being charged, or you might be being hit as income. So that's what I would say. And I would want to be 100% clear with them. And, oh yeah, you called and yelled at them about transparency. Why not? Why not? There we go. But yeah, I would be concerned, that you're still probably getting hit with the taxes on that. Let's see. Aaron says, I just profited $800 swing trading Kraken Robotics. Ooh, did Kraken go up quite a bit today? Let's take a look here. I do like Kraken Robotics. P&G, right? There we go. Look at that, up 4.95%. So that's not too shabby. And just taking a look, Kraken Robotics, I think I always say this every time I look at Kraken Robotics, this is a company that down the road is probably going to get bought. And that's usually not a bad thing if you're holding it, for the most part. Rory, dang IVN at $12 maybe? IVN, not you, Rory. We'll be at $12.50 when you get around to it. That's what we need, is instead of a stop loss, we just need to have Rory put in a buy order, and then we're safe. That's Rory, you're now the official stop loss for the rest of us. And yeah, we're halfway there. Nightbot. Let's see. Brian says, "LOL, Candace will like that." Yeah, I like I said, Rory is our official stop loss. All right, Scott. Going back to the adjusted cost base question, maybe sell bank occasionally for a little profit and buy 60. Same for ENCL and Utes. Yeah. You know, it's nice to avoid taxes, legally, of course, but you know, a lot of the big tax efficiencies that you may find within different covered calls, things like that. A lot of it is not so much that you're not paying taxes; it's more or less that you're paying taxes later. So anything, so even a dividend, like sometimes part of your dividend will be capital gains. You know, in that case there, if you're taking that, obviously, you're actually getting hit right away. You're getting hit with on half of that part. But, you know, if you do have the ROC, then, you know, you're just basically parking those taxes for later. And here's a beautiful thing. If you're not, so let's say you're in that stage where you haven't even retired yet, that may not be a bad thing. It may almost be kind of like the RRSP. So, you know, when you do sell and, you know, you end up paying less on those capital gains, but you might also be in a lower tax bracket at the same time. So you might get both of those benefits. All right. It's drink time, guys. I will not turn off the camera this time. All right, Lance says, how long after the war do you think it will take the materials sector to recover? It's the part of my portfolio that's down the most right now. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's kind of interesting when you're looking at the material sector. Yeah, is the war causing some issues? It is. It's also it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? If people get really nervous, they will start piling into gold. Gold will go up. So there is that as well. But there is critical minerals that does move through the Strait of Hormuz. So there's that as well. So how long? Here's the thing. If Trump sends in the Marines and takes control of the Strait of Hormuz, we could see, you know, it could actually be good for overall for that material sector. You know, it could. It's hard to say. Now, this war, how long is it going to go? I've heard actually, I heard one estimate. Somebody on YouTube was going on about it going on until September. I hope it doesn't go on until September, but I do think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a messy. It's going to be messier than Trump had anticipated. So there's that saying, biting off. I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I think the U.S. can handle what they've bitten off, but I think they bit off more than they realized. So it's kind of one of those ones, you know, when you take that big bite and you're like, oh my God, how long do I have to chew for? You know, it's kind of that situation. I think this war. Um, I mean, I'll be happy. I will be happy when it's finished. But you know, here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing about this. Once and we're seeing that a bit this week. Once the war settles into, you know, just being regular background noise, it will impact the market less than it does while it's still, you know, explosive hype, escalation, all of that. So uncertainty, all of that certainly is impacting the market. But I mean, look at the Russia-Ukraine war. Initially, the market, you know, the market had some response, had some reactions to that, but very quickly, It just became regular background noise. You know, it's still actually happening right now. There's still a war between Russia and Ukraine, but you don't really think about it. You almost have to be reminded that there's war is still going on over in Russia and Ukraine. And you know what? Obviously the U.S. Iran one will probably be more front and center because of Western media, but it will become background noise as it continues, and people will get back to investing, and it will have a lot less of an impact. And that volatility, the war volatility part, will start to lessen. Now, the one downside, and this is the one bad side, is that wars are expensive. So there is that aspect as well. The U.S. is spending, like I heard something like I thought I heard like around $3 billion a day or something crazy like that on this war. So that will certainly impact the economy. How far can that get kicked down? How far can that can get kicked down the road? I don't know. So yeah, it is a great question though. Let's see. CP dropped 2 today. Canaries in a coal mine. Well, hopefully. Oh, I'd like to see a little bit of recovery there. But yeah, they both railroads. All right. Good for you, Aaron. And yeah, Perlovia played Air Canada. And Air Canada actually had a pretty good day, guys. Let's just take a gander here. It's actually nice to see Air Canada back above 17. But like here, Air Canada today, they recovered up to $17.70. So not too shabby. We're still a long way off from where we were before this all happened. But nonetheless, I think Air Canada, I love swing trading Air Canada. It's just it's so reliable when it comes to swing trading. Now, mind you, this one here, like I said, this one is almost going to need that war to end before we get back up to the, up above $20 again. Ian says, I have a feeling if you keep muting the mic every time you drink coffee, you will forget to unmute eventually. Yes. Yes. I agree. Let's see. If that's a mute point, I know it's moot, but yeah, why not? Moops. Wait a minute, moops. I feel like I should know what moops are. And for some reason, when you said moops, it makes me think of Fraggle Rock, and I don't know why. Lance says, it's silver that's hurting my portfolio the most. I was thinking materials, mostly silver, would be recovering by summer when Warsh takes over and cuts rates and when the war settles down. Well, keep in mind, there's no guarantee that Warsh is going to come in and cut rates. And you got to realize too, when you're looking at the Fed, Warsh can't just come in and say, okay, this is how we're doing it. It's still, there is, it's a vote, right? It still needs a majority vote to cut a rate. So, definitely interesting. Let's see. Kevin says, how long until NVIDIA is at 250? Good question. Let's take a look. All right. NVIDIA. Well, that's the, we actually need to go to the regular one because that there is the CDR. All right, now. And I thought I had NVIDIA in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, I do, right here. Right here. So you want to know when it's going to get to 250. Oh, that's a good question. It's actually interesting right now. Actually, I'm just looking here and I see something. I see a possible channel here on NVIDIA. And let's just pull this down here. And yeah, so we have a potential descending channel, or ascending channel. We're getting a lot of movement. Okay, that's going to be interesting. So how long will it take to get to 250? Well, I mean, 250, holy banana bread. 250 is way the heck up there. So it's not going to be, I doubt it'll be before the summer, but you never know. Yeah, right now, heck, I'll be happy. Like if it gets to, I think it has a chance to get to 200, maybe by the summer. But that all depends on a lot of different things. I know right now, NVIDIA, they're doing a lot of good stuff. And I like NVIDIA, and I like them on the long term. $250 though. Boy, I don't even know if we'll see that this year. We might, depending on what happens, depending on too, if the war ends and we get a little bit of a, and that whole fear, AI fear doesn't come back, I think NVIDIA can do really, really well. But 250, gosh, your guess is as good as mine, but I don't think it'll be this year. Although Brian has another idea as soon as Rory sells it. There we go. Perlovia, when you're checking on your swing trades, could you show the 1-day chart, please? The 1-day chart. All right, we can go over and take a look at the 1-day chart. The reason it's on the 1-hour chart is because that's what I use for trading. But when we go to our trades, let's say, for example, all right, let's go to Air Canada. So this here, if I switch it over to the 1-day, here we go. This is our 1-day here. So the big difference with the 1-day, obviously, is that going to have to try to make this a little eek. Sometimes it's fun trying to adjust it to get it to show up at a half decent size. Here we go. So this is our 1-day. So this is kind of, I do like looking at this when I'm looking for sort of more long term. And you can sort of see some of the channels that it has been in. It's not as clear, obviously, because these were set up during the 1 hour. But yeah, I mean, it's, you can sort of see, it gives you a better perspective. And this is kind of one of those things, like if you're looking to invest long term, you want the smaller, you want the larger scales. So 1 day, maybe even 1 month. I mean, if you're, I wouldn't go yearly though. And then you can sort of see patterns on where a company is going over longer periods of time. I just find the 1 hour to be a little bit more realistic for the time frame that I'm trading in. But yeah, so this here is that 1 hour right there. And we could also go, let's actually look at the 1 hour on IVN. And here's the 1 hour on IVN. So you can sort of see, here's that same old down trajectory that we currently have. But yeah, and you can sort of see some of the areas where I've been playing this. All right. Let's see. Rory says, Moops, George Costanza on a Seinfeld episode. Oh, right. Moops. All right. Now that does sound very familiar. It's been so long since I've watched a Seinfeld episode, but it does sound very familiar. Let's see. Kevin says, I think by July or end of July. All right. We'll see. Right now, Brian's saying the 52-week is 212. All right. And we got the Financial Express on. We do have 2 already, so we are 2 away from adding a Thursday show. All right, now that I caught up, we got some exciting news here. So it's March. Blossom and the Blossom Ambassadors, we got March Madness going on over there. So they have this contest, and that contest is each of us in our division, we're trying to get as many people signed up to Blossom as possible, and each time someone signs up, we get a point. So I am now sitting at 8 points. So we picked up 2 yesterday. So this now puts me into 5th place. So I am Blue Whale right here. So we are now in 5th place. We got a long, I don't think we can catch, I don't know if we can catch Green Owl. Green Owl's up there at 20, but I sure want to give it a good old country try. That's for sure. So here, I'm going to drop in the thing for Blossom. And here. Oh, so good. All right. So this is the link here for Blossom. Now, Blossom, in case you're unfamiliar, it's simple. It's a social media app for investors. I love it. Actually, it's really interesting. I was talking to the people from Brompton today, and they were telling me how much they love Blossom and that they're using it quite a bit. So I thought that was fantastic. Before we go any further, because we got ourselves a super chat. we got ourselves a super chat. Let's just get this on in from Sky. Hi all, is it Space Goat? Wow, it is Space Goat. And Space Goat is in the building. We're also one away now from adding a Thursday show. I love it. The Goat Squad is representing on St. Patrick's Day. And and if we go one past the 4, guys, this is your last chance to see the St. Patrick's Day goat. So what can I say? Aren't these all Marvel superheroes? I don't know. I don't know. All right, back to Blossom though. Yeah, it's a social media app, and you can sort of see it's kind of laid out the way most social media apps are. But one of the cool things about it is when you're reading, like, all right, like this person here, BD Investing, he's talking about a few things like, some chips, some data centers. So if you're looking at, you're like, oh, okay, AMD, you can click on AMD and it'll pull up all of the AMD financials so you can have a chance to look at it. Gives you their earnings report, market moves, all that fun stuff. And plus, anybody who's been talking about AMD, you can find other people who've been talking about AMD. Fantastic. So it is a really good way to move things around. Now, you can also attach your portfolio. This is 100% optional. This is the 0 to 100K challenge. So I have it hooked up here. I have to manually do it because this is National Bank. They don't have API access to National Bank. But if you are in like Wealthsimple, Moomoo, Questrade, you can do it just automatically. It's safe. They're only getting read-only access. So, or if you are, some people are like, I'm leery of that. That's fine. You don't have to. You can be leery of it. You can always just manually hook it up. But guys, once you get over here, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is just follow me. And I'll tell you why. Because I normally, I showed you this feed over here. I normally don't go through this feed at all. The reason I don't go through this feed is I want to see what you guys are doing. So I follow you back and I just go through my notifications because this will show me what you guys are doing. And in this case here, do we have any of you guys? No, there's BD Investing. Let's see. Yeah, here's Dave. So here's Dave. I can go in here. I can click on Dave. And here is... Dave was here yesterday, but he doesn't appear to be here today. Why is it every time I talk about Dave, he's not here? But yeah, so here we go. We got Dave talking about NVIDIA. So, hey, Kevin, you might be interested in this one. But that's what I do. And then I will come through and I'll throw him a like. And I'll, if I read it, I would absolutely give him a comment. Don't have time. I'm not going to read it right now on the stream, but that's what I do. So guys, if you follow me, there's a good chance I can take a look. If you really want me to see something, then, and here, I've got this section thing. I got mentions. Just throw in a at Mountain Finance. See, nobody has mentioned me for 8 days, guys. If one of you could just mention me, so that way there I have a more recent one. But yeah, no, if you mention me and you want me to see something, I'll go over to it right away because I want to see what you guys are doing. All right, now, with all of that being said, back in the chat, so meanwhile in chat land, Lance is in with a gifted sub. Frank, congratulations, Frank. So thank you, Lance. And of course, that does bring up a goat. And that is our Professor Goat. So Math Goat. And Thursday show is now in the books. So we will have a show on Thursday. Simple as that. Simple as that. I love it. All right. Now, let's see. Marin comes in. Hey, all. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hit the like. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot about the like button. I gave you guys a goal to get to 40, and by now it should be, the goal should be 70. But let's just click. We'll see how the like button evolved without me interfering with it at all. 55. All right, there we go. 55 likes. We'll live with it. All right, now, Lisa says, I use National Bank DB as well. It is because of the bank. It is because of the bank or Blossom that's their platform is not supported. It's probably the bank. Some banks are very hesitant to give API access, especially if it's a new company. And Blossom's new. Blossom's only been around for a couple of years. So definitely. Tom says, I didn't realize you used a 1 hour window on your swings. I do, just because I'm trying to do faster swings. If I was doing longer swings, I would probably use, I don't know if I'd use a day. I would probably use like a 4 hour. All right, and Kevin is happy. Dirty Doug says, let's have a mountain ETF that follows the materials market, uranium, gold, silver, copper. I'd be in like stink. There we go. Yeah, I would love, other than one thing, I think, I think Meet Kevin once tried to make an ETF. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to make an ETF. But you know what? If one of the companies that management companies wants to make an ETF and name it after me, I would be very honored. I don't think they will though, but I wish so. Ian says, I joined Blossom years ago because you were talking about it here on your channel. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Blossom was one of those things. That was kind of Blossom was interesting. So back in the day, when Blossom first came out, I quite literally, I was just past 1,000 subscribers. I freshly monetized. Not really, I mean, I was eyeing 2,000, but I wasn't that big. And then out of the blue, Brandon Beavis reached out to me and wanted a meeting. I was just like, okay. Honestly, at first I thought I was being scammed because it's like, why are the big people, why would they even know who I am? But no, it really was Brandon. We had a video chat for a bit and, wanted me to come on board. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Cause he said he liked my content. And I was like, okay. So it's that kind of that as a YouTuber, it's one of those times when you finally, you realize, I'm reaching more people than I realized. If people are actually know who you are, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And it's kind of like an affirmation in a way. Of course, now, anytime I say the word affirmation, I think of, what was his name? Was it Stuart Little, the old SNL skit where, he'd be looking in the mirror saying, giving himself an affirmation? Oh, boy. Now, those of you who used to watch Saturday Night Live back in the day, Scott, are you thinking Candace, us, materials girl, Doug? I like materials. In a material world. There we go. Yep, we're living in a material world. Of course, my materials don't glow like diamonds. They glow like uranium, though. Perlovia, what will bring the junior miners back to life? Noticed ITR got added to an ETF recently. That's a good sign. It's a good question. I think one of the things, and this is kind of when you have uncertainty in the market, with, for example, the whole war thing, unfortunately, we always go back to the war, but when when people are feeling a little more uncertain, sometimes some of that money will flow out of junior miners and move into, I don't want to say senior miners, but probably more into gold and more safe havens. But as the world starts to go back to normal, hopefully, that money will flow back. That money tends to flow back. So, if we got an end to the war, it would be better. It would be good for junior miners. No doubt about it. All right. Brian, was Kevin's ETF for course members only with an expiring coupon code? ETF on Friday. I know. Oh, Mark, you are here. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Mark, you're Mark. Yeah, Mark is Mark. Why do I do not. Yeah, that's Dave. Honestly, for some reason, Mark, every time I see Dave, I think it's Mark. I don't. All right. Let's just forget about that. We'll forget that happened. So yeah, the daily affirmations with Stuart Smiley. There we go. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me. Yeah, absolutely. Deep thoughts with Jack Handy. Let's see. Cebu says, I mentioned you during a Blossom event a couple of years ago in Vancouver, and you were already known to many. Will you attend a future Blossom event? Possibly Vancouver. Um, yes, I will definitely attend a future Blossom event. I don't know when, and I don't know where. Vancouver's a long way to go. Um, but I have this small little, I have a small little dream. Once the channel is profitable. So once the channel's doing really well, probably it's probably going to be around 100,000 subs or more, but I want to do a cross Canada tour. It's kind of a silly idea, but I'd love to do like some live streams from coast to coast. Make it into some like a summer event or something, but um right now right now the finances aren't in place for something like that, but it is something I do want to do. It'd be fun if that actually worked out with a Blossom event. That would be really, really cool. But yeah, no, I would like to do it. And I have lived in Vancouver. I was living in Vancouver during the Winter Olympics when they were there. So what was that, 2010? So yeah, I do love Vancouver. Vancouver's fun, for sure. All right. Kevin says, you are good enough, you are smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like, yeah, see, everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Ian says, got a text from my old company asking if I wanted to come back to work. That was an affirmation for me. I said, thanks, but I'm out of the country. Dave's not here. I know. Uh, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, the Dave thing. All right. Now I got it. I got it straight. All right. Old timers. I don't know. That's not that old. Let's see. Oh, the Nightbot needs to go away. Let's see here. It's going to turn off the Nightbot. There, Nightbot is turned off. I mean, I know we're getting close to the end, but nonetheless. Open up. It's me, Dave. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think so, Dave. Isn't that Space 2001 Space Odyssey? Let's see. There's a bar in Fort Erie called He's Not Here. Dave, who now this is actually funny. There was an old movie, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was called Amazon Women on the Moon. And it was basically, the whole movie was nothing but sketches. And there was this one sketch where there was a guy in his apartment and things just kept going wrong. Like his VCR shot the tape out and hit him in the head. And during the whole thing, he kept getting a call. Somebody calling, looking for, I think it was a Thelma maybe. And by the end, he was always polite on the phone call. But after all of these bad things happened to him, I think by the end, he got absolutely not polite on the phone. But anyway, it was a very funny skit. It was Amazon Women on the Moon. That's what it was called. I may be the only person here who's actually watched this movie, but I certainly enjoyed it. I like crazy humor. So, Scott, me, Dave, man, open up. Dave not here. All right, downtown East Side is depressing. Those poor people fighting addiction, we need to help them out. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the first time I rode a bus through East Side, Vancouver, I was at first, I was just like, what am I seeing? I was not prepared. I mean, I was fresh from Nova Scotia. So had never seen anything like that before. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Oh. Let's see. No Name says Kids in the Hall. These are the Daves I know. Yeah, that was a good song. Some of them are Davids, but most of them are Daves. They all have the same name, but they come from different moms. Let's see. You don't have Alzheimer's, you have Maritimers. Exactly. All right. Luke says, Should I buy BIP.UN or BIPC in my TFSA? The charts look like BIPC is oversold and therefore more likely to rebound. Thoughts? All right. Well, let's bring both up here for a moment here. All right. BIP, was that Brookfield Infrastructure? There we go. BIP. There we go. Brookfield Infrastructure Partners. There we go. All right. I'll pull it up and take a look here. All right. And the other one is BIPC. Let's pull that one up. And Brookfield Infrastructure Corporate. All right. There we go. I do like Brookfield. You know, I know that they've kind of got a bit of a bad rap because of because of the whole Carney's investment thing. But oh yeah, look at this. Ooh, that's interesting. That is really, really interesting. And this actually looks like it's down towards a level because there's a lot of support in this area. So it could go down as low as maybe 57, but yeah, you do look like there's some room to go back up there. And you know what? Here we're kind of we're not that far from support. Like support for this one's a couple more dollars down and you're going to get some support there. So it's a good call. I do like infrastructure though, and I will say because maybe I'm maybe I'm biased, but if we get the infrastructure movement that we should be getting, that the current government has been touting for a while, I think it could be very good for BIP. But at the same time, you know, this one here is also infrastructure as well. But you know, I do like them both. I kind of like them both. You know what I would this is kind of what I would do, Luke. If I'm torn between two in a case like this, I might just go half and half, see how they go, see how they perform, and then I could always at some point in the future, if one of them happens to really, really spike, and I could always take profits, move it into the other. There's many different ways I could do it, but I like them both, to be honest. So I know it's not the answer you want, but if I had to, I mean, between the two of them, if I really had to pick, I know this one here looks like it has the most potential. But I don't know. I really like them both. Oh boy. All right. Ian says, I've seen the movie. All right, there we go. Nice. All right. Pat says, can you do a video about Easy Evolve ETF for passive income investors? Okay. Right now we don't have a lot of data on it. That's kind of been that thing. I know I did the 60 to sort of let people know it was coming. Actually, 60 is the first time I did a video before it even dropped. But yeah, I think Easy is something that I probably will do this, Pat. I don't know when. But I could see me doing it before the summer, though. So, within the next, probably, if I'm being realistic, it's probably going to be April. Perlovia, happy St. Paddy's Day. Cheers to all fellow investors. Lots have great day tomorrow on the market. Gotta go feed my moo-moos. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. New ETF with a great yield. Yes, but the one concern I have right now is just that everything in it is new. So, when you look at things like Biggie, Canny, and Inti, they've really underperformed so far. So I'd like to see how that's going to go. I'd like to see those turn around and how that is going to impact Easy. Like, I love the idea of Easy. It's like an all equity, but an aggressive covered call version of an all equity. I like that. Other than, I will say one thing, they don't really have the emerging markets. So you're missing that one component. But let's give them some time. Let's see how things move. But I will definitely look at them for sure. Let's see. Monthly says MSTE ETF is ripping. Increased my position to 57,000 shares. Holy banana bread. That's a lot of shares. But yeah, I mean, considering the fact that Bitcoin had a nice little rebound, MSTE, well, here, let's take a look. I know I've got them in here somewhere. MSTE, where are you? MS. Maybe I don't. I'll just add them again. Oh, that's because I'm in the swings. That's fine. We'll just add them in the swings. We're here. All right, let's do it. Bang, boom. Yeah, so here we go. Today up another 1.81. Now this is on the day. Oh boy. I was like, wait, why does it look so different? But yeah, here is that big down. So it's actually interesting. In my, I've got them in two places. I have MSTE. I've got it in the 0 to 100K challenge. So the 0 to 100K challenge, I got it about here. Somewhere's right around here. In my Wealthsimple one, I grabbed it down here at about 270-ish. So I think 274 down in there. So not too shabby, not too shabby. So, but, and now mind you, I don't have a lot. I only bought 10 in both places. Now in my Wealthsimple, I have it set to drip. So I think right now, my 10 is already 10.4. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. All right, Dirty Doug, how about an ETF that people can contribute to that donates to aiding the various troubled communities? Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I don't know if anybody's ever done anything like that. Because, yeah, and Scott's saying an ETF consisting of charities. But the problem is, I think a lot of charities are not for profit. So, it does. I don't think they really. I don't know if they would IPO. That's a good question. I've never looked into that. Now I know that there are, for example, you can get some themed ETFs. So, for example, if you're into green ETFs, there are green ones. That's interesting. I have not really looked into that. Doug. Brian says I already own some. I donated to a losing ETF. Okay. Let's see. Rory, stocks ripping without me. It's like that joke when I'm running for the slow-moving car. Car stops. I get closer than the car rips up the road again. Another 10 feet. Yikes. Yeah. Let's see. LOL. Thanks. Let's see. I think Adriano did a video on it, but still too new. It is too new. There's not a lot of information per se. All right, let's see. HFGM ETF, Global Macro Active Hedge, long and short in these markets. Interesting and approaches your thoughts. Thanks. Let's see. Active hedge, long and short. So yeah, there is. So I don't know about this one in particular, but there are two new ETFs that are out from. Are they Harvest? I think it's Harvest. And they're actually using puts in addition to the covered calls in them. So it's sort of an interesting strategy for sure. And I do want to do a video on them. That's one I really want to do because it's puts. I've not yet had a chance to really talk about puts on the channel. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Now, so you got here, let's take a look at this one that you have here. Let's take a look. And like I said, I don't think I've ever looked at this one before. HFGM. Here we go. All right, unlimited. Okay, oh, well, that's why it's a US one. So I have not yet had a chance. Unlimited HFGM Global Macro ETF. All right, that looks pretty cool. I like the name. Let's see. So yeah, it sort of acts like a hedge fund. All right, no, that's cool. That's cool for sure. Yeah, I'm really coming into this completely empty. I don't know, don't know much about it, but I do know that I like the way it's moved in the last year. So that's definitely something to look at. All right. I will look more into it. I'll look more into it. I haven't really had a chance to, like I said, I haven't even had a chance to sort of touch it at all. All right. Scott says easy like a Sunday morning. Ooh. I got more CCPC today. Nice. I love the copper. All right. If Evolve made that charity ETF, it would be called Give. Probably. That would not surprise me. You know what, Scott? I wonder if there is an ETF called Give. Give.iv, um, give.so, give. All right, so Advisor Shares Global Echo ETF. There we go. It's a US one. Oh, look at this. This one here, 75,000. That's give.so. But problem is, whenever I see this little asterisk thing on there, usually it doesn't work very well on the TMX. All right, Bismarcky, good afternoon all. Dang, thumbs not working today. Uh-oh. Let's see. Got out of CRCY today, Harvest Circles. It tanked after I bought it. Told myself as soon as I'm above water, I was selling. Oh boy. Well, let's take a look. Why not? CRCY. There we go. Harvest Circle Enhanced High Income Shares. Yes. Here we go. And look there. I can see. Yeah, I can see that little bit of a peak that they had there. Oh boy, yeah. It's the thing with with some of these single share ones. You've got to have a lot of conviction in the company if you want to get involved in it. Kind of like I know today, I actually looked at two of them in today's video. If you haven't seen today's video, we're looking at AMDY versus AVGY. Now they both have done okay. Not, of course, obviously the underlying assets do better because you are trading upside when it comes to, of course, some of those aggressive covered calls. And but there are ones like this, like Circle, that have just not performed so well. But you also have to take into account too. This is a very short snapshot because a lot of times you don't even have a year. Like a lot of ETFs, they won't report things like total return until they've got at least a year under their belts. And I even think I heard that there might even be some regulations around reporting that basically says you need to have a year of data before you can do any kind of return data. And that makes sense. It doesn't stop me. I can do 6 months, but I still would prefer to have at least a year's worth of data. And this is what I'm really looking forward to, guys. In about, another 2 years from now, we'll have like 3 years of data on all of our favorite ETFs, and that's going to be great. I can't wait. All right. Rory says BlackBerry isn't really moving out of its rut, 450-ish. I know, but I'm okay with that. What BlackBerry has to offer is going to be, well, they've got two things. They've got, of course, their quantum security, and they've also got the Internet of Things. But the quantum security is the part that I'm investing in. So once we get to a point, and we're not even in the infancy of quantum computing yet. I mean, that's still coming. Although I did read about a Canadian company that was making some really interesting chips. I didn't read about it, so I watched a video on it. And they're able to sort of do some crazy stuff without any of the temperatures that they have to, and with no need for cooling. Oh boy. And I was working out while I was watching it, so that's why I'm like, what was it? I only kind of half paid attention, but what I did see looked really interesting. I'll have to find out more about that and bring it to you guys because that was really good. All right, Brian says a former top aide to the Secretary of War who was escorted from the Pentagon last year following a reported leak investigation has landed a new role in the nation's highest intelligence office. Oh, what could I was I actually said before I looked at this, what could possibly go wrong? So we're thinking the same thing, Brian. Ayushma says, Ayushma, I think. What's your opinion about emerging markets? Is XEF good to hold in one's portfolio for diversification away from North America? So I like emerging markets. Keep in mind, emerging markets does include India. India has the fastest growing economy in the world. It's not the biggest economy, but it's the fastest growing. India has been doing everything right. The government of India has been putting a lot of money into infrastructure. It's one of the reasons that when you look at Hammond Power Solutions, HPS.A, they have a lot of clients in India because they're over there doing a lot of the electrical side of that infrastructure push. So India, I think, is huge, and I think emerging markets is definitely a place that is worthy of investing in. So that's why I was kind of mentioning, like with the new Easy, I would love if they had an emerging markets ETF that they could put in there too, because I think that would be the one thing that it's missing for sure. Elaine is in the house with a hey all. Graphite rods to cool new CPUs. These ones that I was looking at. Now, mind you, I was pumping iron at the time, so like I said, my attention was split. But they were talking about being able to cool. They basically would operate at room temperature, light speed, and well, here actually, you know what? Give me a second here. Let me take a look here. You know what? Here's how we're going to do this, guys. Let's go to YouTube. Let's get out of me and let's go into history. Now you guys can see what I watched today. In Nino, new trailers, post-labor economics. I did not watch that. It just, let's see, old LED, cutback deluxe, Pure Poly. Yeah, I did watch that. Or did I watch that one? I don't know. I watched something from Pure Polyev today. I think this one. Yeah, I watched this one. He was grocery shopping. Let's see. Oscars, NVIDIA, possible chip. This is the one I was watching. And I thought it was really, really interesting. So impossible chip shocked scientists. Canada's 2,000-bit ops per second could kill supercomputers. But I did watch it, and it was actually quite interesting. So it's on a channel called The Forge Empire. So if any of you want to check it out, here it is right here. So this is the one. There we go. A pat to complete easy HDIV and HYLD. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I don't ever see a time when one company is going to start putting other companies into their ETF, but and I know that's not what you're saying. I want to be clear, but I was just the thought went into my head. Could you imagine if one, and in a way, I mean, Hamilton actually used to do that. So when you look at HYLD when it first came out, it wasn't holding it really wasn't holding any Canadian ETFs. It was holding all of the US ones. And then they created pretty much their own version of all of the different ETFs that they wanted to put into HYLD, which is one of the reasons it's so much better than it was when it first launched. Scott, I thought you were cutting off the 2 words early just to troll us. No. Oh my God, it's 1 hour and 38 minutes. See, guys, if you keep me talking, we blow past that 1.5 hour mark. But guys, I am going to cut it short right now, even though we're still talking, only because I got office hours tonight. So we're going to be back here at 7 p.m. Bring whatever you guys want. We'll talk about, we'll talk about whatever you want. So it is a channel member thing. So if you guys, if you're not a channel member and you want to attend, just sign up. It's basically costs about the amount of a cup of coffee. So, speaking of coffee, I'm going to wait. I don't want to mute again. But we will also, for those of you who do not come to the office hours tonight, we'll be back again here tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, I do have 2 words I want to say before I go. And you guys know what it is. It is bye-bye.